Hey everybody, welcome to Live Coding with Jesse. This is Jesse, and today we're going to test out KeystoneJS. I've never used Keystone, so I don't know if it's going to work. I don't know how this is going to go. This is for our big project, Project 5, which would be the main website for the university that I work at. We've already pulled some data and put it into a WordPress database, so MySQL, and that works, and we might end up going with that, but I thought it would be worth it to test out a JavaScript based content management system so that we could be full stack JavaScript. So that's what we're going to do today. I could see in the live chat here Harshit is worried about GraphQL in it. And I was a little bit too. So I found on GitHub that somebody had already set up Next.js, which is what we've been using, with GraphQL and Keystone all together. Now, I don't know that I would like everything about the way they did it, but for today, I think it's worth it just to use what they've done to get us started, just to see if we like it. No sense in trying to customize everything early on if we're not even sure if we're going to use it. If anybody knows of an open source headless JavaScript CMS that we could use, I'm still open to that, because Keystone is not maintained as far as I know. Let me pull over on my screen some info about Keystone. So I'm going to switch views here. Okay. So let's check this out. Okay, so something was changed a month ago. So yeah, it's not, I mean, some of these are 2 years ago. Yeah, the latest release came out in May of 2016. So you can see there's been some other stuff going on, but it's really like, I don't know how I feel about using something that seems to be not actively maintained anymore. There's some activity, but I'm just not, I don't know. We'll look at it. We'll take a look at it and we'll see. We'll see how it goes. So this is what I thought I'd use. Now obviously this is not a popular repository, right? We got 8 stars, 2 forks. But what this does do is it uses the 3 things that we're already planning on using. Now to be honest, I don't care quite as much about them using Next, because that's all going to be decoupled. But it does have this, which is what I really care about. GraphQL with Keystone. So let's try it out. I do need to make sure that I have the latest version of Mongo, which I don't remember if I do or not. So let's try this out. I'm pretty sure I have done this recently. I probably don't have the latest version though. Oh, cool. Harsh is saying I can just homebrew. Homebrew is like a project. It's like a package manager for your Mac. Alright, so let's try this out. Hey, I see some stuff in the live chat. Andre asked if I'm Canadian. No, I am not Canadian. So, nothing wrong with being Canadian, but I was born in West Virginia here in the United States. Okay. What's the package from Mongo? Okay, I found it. I think I run a brew update recently, but no reason not to run it again. Seems to be taking a while. Alright, I'll let that go. Alright, cool. I went through. Alright, so if you're just joining, we're getting the prerequisites ready to install Keystone. Alright, cool. I was just installing Mongo. And it looks like I did already install this. So I just need to upgrade. Alright, so I'll let that go. Now, while let's clone this. I mean, it looks like I have everything else I need. Alright, we're going to clone this, and again, I'm just doing this to get up and running as fast as I possibly can with GraphQL and Keystone. Basically, I just want to see how easy is it to add new post types and to navigate the editor and the CMS. I know there's already a demo online, but I can't get in there and see the code and change it like I want to. The question, Hussam says, what is collaboration on GitHub? Is there something on GitHub called collaboration? I don't know. I'm not sure, Hussam. Does anyone else know? Haven't answered the question, what is collaboration on GitHub? Unless you mean collaboration in general, I'm not sure. If you could clarify for me, maybe I could give you a better answer. Alright, still not quite done with Homebrew. Installing Mongo. Alright, great. So we have Mongo there. Now let's do a Git clone, and I'll add this. Git clone. Should I fork this first? Yeah, let me fork it first, and then I'll have a repo. I can make changes, and I don't know how long we'll be testing this out. It would probably be better. So let's find this and fork it into here. Well, that was fast. Awesome. Okay, now let's clone this one. John B. John B said I should spork it. Spork it will let you fork the repo, but also spoon it when you're feeling lonely. What is my passphrase? John B, I'm gonna remember that one and use it at some point in the future, if you don't mind. Let's see. I need to find my SSH passphrase in LastPass. Alright, and I think we've done this before, but if you get asked for your SSH passphrase and you don't feel like typing it in again, if you just do SSH add and hit enter, it'll ask you for it again, and then if you put it in, then it won't ask you again, at least until you restart your computer. I think if you restart your computer, then it'll ask you again, but at least for that session you'll be fine. Okay, Harshit says brew services start MongoDB. Harshit, do I just need to run it like that, like later on when we need to use it, or do I need to do that now? Alright, so we have this. We have a clone. Let's go. What is that called? Keystone. There we go. Let's run yarn. Get all this stuff installed. Okay, Harshit says I need to run that command now. Brew services start MongoDB. So I'm going to copy that. And when this is finished, we'll run that as well. Thank you, Harshit. Oh, cool. Blake said the SSH add worked. So awesome. I'm glad it worked and is useful to you. Oh, also, I have a meeting at 3, so this is going to be a short stream. I really hope I don't forget about my meeting at 3. I'm sure that one of my bosses will come in and knock on my door if I do forget, and they won't be happy. Alright. I wanted to start the stream earlier, but I was updating my computer to the latest Mac version, so it is at High Sierra, and it took way longer than I thought it would take. And then when I finally got it restarted, things were so slow at first, so I did not get the streams scheduled earlier like I wanted to. Have some errors coming up. I hope this isn't going to ruin the install. Let's see. Huh. Well, that's no good. Alright, Harshit's saying that fork is old. Oh man, I hope it's not too old. Okay, so Harshit's saying maybe it's trying to install things that don't even exist anymore. Well, that may have just ruined my plan here. And alright, let's shoot. Alright, this isn't the only Keystone GraphQL repository that I found, so let me just find the other ones that I had open, and we can check out another one. I mean, I really don't know which one is better, so I just happened to pick this one, so I needed something. Alright. Oh, Roger said, been running Linux for years and never heard of SSH add, thanks. Oh, you're welcome. Cool. Well, if I can't get anything else to work, at least I was able to share that little helpful bit with you all. I'm trying to get... Sorry, I'm trying to adjust the screen. I think I kept going... I keep going off screen. I can't tell which way. Alright, that seems like it'll work. Alright. Suggestions. Alright. Let me... I can't find the window. Let's see. Where is it at? Where is it at? Is it at? Alright, maybe I closed it. And I really wanted to have this ready to go so we could just, go quickly since I don't have a lot of time, but it looks like it may not happen. Keystone GraphQL. Okay, it looks like KeystoneJS, the organization KeystoneJS on GitHub, actually has GraphQL helpers there, but it looks like everything's 2 years old. Not sure how helpful that's going to be. Alright. Well, let's alright, let's just go with something else. Oops. Alright, hold on. There's some things in the live chat. Let's see what's going on here. My freelance project, first prototype, can you give me any suggestions? The freelance project is using Next, a custom GraphQL server, an Apollo client, and server-side rendering. Yeah, Harshit, sure, I'd be happy to give you suggestions on that. So just let me know where that's at. I'm assuming you have a repo for it. So just send me that link, you know, on Twitter or whatever, and I'll try to. I probably can't take a look at it today because I'll have a meeting and then I have to leave right after that. But at some point this week, I can definitely take a look at it. All right, Harsh is saying let's use WordPress. Roger says every time someone publishes a PHP website, a kitten dies. We wouldn't want to kill kittens, right? Harsh said it is truth. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, Harsh, the more I try to look into these different JavaScript alternatives to WordPress, the more I keep thinking we're just going to need to go with WordPress. Like, it's just... Alright, listen, everybody who's interested in a side project, I think there's really a need for a JavaScript CMS that is open source, basically the JavaScript version of WordPress, right? So if anybody really wants a side project that could potentially be adopted by a lot of people, make JavaScript WordPress. So, I certainly don't have the time to do it, but I'd be happy to help. So, alright. I don't think we have time to do it before this project is due, but potentially we could work on it longer term and then try to switch over to it at some point with this project. Alright, so enough of me talking. Let's see. Let's make this together. Hey, Steven and Jewel. It's J-U-L-E. I'm assuming that's pronounced Jewel. If it's not, please let me know, and I will do my best to pronounce it correctly. Harsh says, let's make this together using GraphQL. Suggesting name for it. Just mention it here in the chat below. Strappy CMS. I have never heard of Strappy CMS. Let them eat their cake PHP and have it too. Check out Strappy. Blake says go to keystone.com/getting started. That was actually just where I was about to go. The only reason I didn't want to do it before is that their getting started guide has you use a Yeoman generator, which I haven't used Yeoman for a long time. I don't even know if I have it installed on this machine. I'm not opposed to using it just to get things up and running. It would probably be pretty fast, but I don't know. We could. I'm checking out Strappy right now on my other screen. Modern independent blazing fast. Alright, I'm checking out their GitHub repo. They are definitely way more up to date. They have things that have been updated just a few hours ago. It looks like, let's see. Yeah, it's all JavaScript. It has a lot more stars here. API creation. Wow, you can work with whatever database you want, which that's awesome. Okay, I'm definitely gonna look into Strappy more. Alright, we're probably gonna do a stream tomorrow on Strappy. Today, let's just use this Yeoman generator, install this thing just to see how it goes, right? Because I named the stream. I said in the name of the stream that we're gonna use Keystone. I even put their logo in the thumbnail for the video. So let's at least install it and mess around with it just a bit. After this whole mess here with getting errors trying to use this, I'm not confident, but where's my, I know I had the getting started. Here we go. Where am I at here? Getting started. Yeoman. Yo Keystone. Do I have Yo? I don't think I have Yo installed anymore. Hey, I do have Yeoman installed. Awesome. Get me out of here. Okay. Yo Keystone. And they're not the generator Yeoman keys. Oh, I need to install it, don't I? There was another getting started. There we go. This one is like the super easy version of the getting started. There we go. Install generator Keystone. There we go. It's been years since I've used Keystone. Since I've used Yeoman, I did not even remember that you had to install the generator first. Yeoman used to be amazing, like back in the day. I remember being so excited about it, and then it's just like nobody used it. No. Can I just say no? Whatever. Definitely SAS. If I'm gonna use one, why not? Sure. Let's get everything. Users good. Enter an email address. Temporary password. We save in plain text and change it to this. What is going on? I don't know what password I just gave that. Yes, new directory, email configuration. Sure. What? I don't want any of this stuff. Yes. That was a lot more questions than I thought. Alright, let me see. I'm going to catch up with the live chat while that's installing. That's correct. Rook said, I know nothing about it. I remembered the name. Don't kill me if it turns out bad. No, so far it looks really good, so that's awesome. Thanks for that, Rook. Oh, okay, it was already mentioned by Shah Alibhai. Oh, I must have just missed it when it was mentioned before. So, sorry that I missed that. And then EndoroJS.com. Okay, so Blake says there's an EndoroJS.com, which has a nice full screen video hero section. Check that out. Nice. Alright, let's check this out. That must help use documentation. Cool. Actually, this has themes in it. This is like a... Wow. This actually does look like JavaScript WordPress. Actually, if we wanted to make a front end too, coupled with this, I would probably go with this. I think, what was the other one? Strappy? Strappy looks better, just from like the 5 seconds that I looked at it, and the little bit of time I looked at this. I'm going to really check out Strappy for this project, but if I were to do another project where I wasn't trying to have a headless CMS, this one looks really nice. Not bad. Let's see. Okay, Harsh is saying Ghost is the most popular CMS for JavaScript. I've heard about Ghost before, but I've never used it. Oh, okay, so Ghost is like a subscription-based service, right? Wow, finally. Wow. Alright, let's check it out. Okay, so we have a Keystone site going. Alright, so this is not the latest version. So the beta, I think it was like the 4.0 beta of Keystone, was supposed to be built with React, at least for the admin panel, I think. And this is not React. This is jQuery and Bootstrap. So let's check it out. I think if we type in Keystone, that's how we get to the back end. Yep. Alright, so I don't know what my password was. I was supposed to get an email about it, so let me check my email here. Maybe I didn't. I thought I was going to, but it's possible that I didn't. Let's see. Okay, cool. Harshit says you can actually host Ghost yourself. That's cool. Oh, cool. John B. noted the password is admin. Awesome. Thanks, John B. I tried to change the password, but it didn't work, so I guess it ended up being admin. I was just gonna make it 1234, because alright, that seems like a good password. No one would ever guess that. Create a new post. It's actually really fast. I mean, it's running locally, so it should be fast. So I guess that's not a good test. Yeah. Yeah, I mean this, I really wish, is this the beta? That says it's the beta. Oh, okay. You know what? This is the latest version because the backend is running in React. They're still using jQuery, which is weird. But hey, I mean, I built a site with jQuery and React, so I shouldn't say anything. I built 2 sites like that. Yeah, before when I checked, that wasn't the admin area, so I was mistaken. Alright, well, I tell you what, here's my take on Keystone. If you are looking for something to run a small site that's like probably not for a client, and you're not that worried about it, there's not a lot on the line, like it's not an e-commerce site or something like that, I think Keystone's pretty cool. It's nice, especially if you want to use it headless. I mean, I don't know if I would want to use the full CMS with the front end coupled to it, but I guess you could. So if you don't mind that it's probably not going to get updated often, and I don't know if there's any support with it, but the back end seems super easy to use, and to customize, it's all JavaScript. So I think this is actually kind of a cool thing. If you'd want to take this almost as a boilerplate, customize it on your own, there's little chance that an update will come out and mess up what you've done, right? So I think that would be cool to just fork it and customize it, do what you want with it. I mean, I assume it's MIT license. I guess we could check. Yeah, it's MIT, so you could do, you do whatever you want with it. I mean, who knows? Maybe there are forks out there that are being updated that are awesome. But I don't think it's the right thing for our project. I really kind of hoped it was, especially since there were already some built-in GraphQL things out there that people were doing. But ultimately, I would say probably the main reason that I don't think we're going to use it now is just the lack of updates. As I said, there were some updates a month ago, but it's likely not, it's not maintained. Like I said, the first actual release, the major release was over a year ago, about a year and a half ago. And although there are some newer things here in the beta, even the newest thing was October 23rd, and then before that was all the way back in January 25th. So that bothers me a little bit. This isn't just a side project website. This is the main website for the university. This is by far the most important project that I've worked on since I've started here. So I don't know. If you all disagree on that assessment of Keystone for this project, please let me know in the live chat or in the comments, or even Twitter, direct message, whatever you want. So I think it was worth it to check it out, so we're a little bit more familiar with it. I was kind of impressed at how easy it was to start if you use that Yeoman generator. I mean, that was really, really fast, and we have it all up and running. I mean, potentially, you could throw in some posts here, publish this thing, and you have a website with that you can have users with, admin panel, all that. You have it up and running in less than an hour, depending on how much content you want to put on it first. So I mean, that's impressive. That's really impressive. So this is one of the things, like, I really wish that this had been maintained more, because I think it's, this is still pretty cool, even though it hasn't been updated in a while. Yeah. So I think if this gets maintained or updated, or somebody takes over on a fork, this could be really cool. But anyway, probably not going to go with this. And now's a great time for me to stop, go to the live chat, answer some questions, because I have a meeting in less than 20 minutes. Anyway, so this stream maybe turned out not exactly how I thought it would, but we still got to try out Keystone. So if anybody's interested in it, at least you know how to, at least the easiest way that I've found to install it, and that is the recommended way with Yeoman. Alright, so let me go to the chat now, and I'll answer any questions that you have. So if you have questions, put it in there. If we end up going too close to my meeting, I will have to stop, so there's a possibility I might not get to all the questions, but I will do my best to answer everything. Let's see. So I'm going to scroll up a bit because I think I did miss some things. Okay, Blake asked earlier about what I mean by headless CMS, and Harshit gave an answer, but I just want to kind of answer on the video in case you're watching later. I think that's probably a common question. I apologize for just using that term without explaining it. So a content management system, like something like WordPress, if you're familiar with that, normally, at least it has been the case with a lot of content management systems, that the front end, what the users see, right, the client-facing portion of it, is tied closely to the CMS. So, for instance, in WordPress, you install WordPress and it comes with these themes, right? So you can change the themes right there from the CMS, and the theme is all the HTML and CSS and everything that the users are going to see. When you go with a headless CMS, your website that the users see interacts with the content management system through an API. So they're not tied together. And in our case, what will happen is the client, the stuff that the client sees, that site, which we're building in React, will be hosted on an entirely different server than our content management system. So there'll be no part of that content management system that controls, kind of the look of the site. So that's what we mean by headless. And you can run normal CMSs as headless CMSs, which is what we've done with WordPress several times now, and what we may end up doing again for this project. So anyway, thanks for asking that, Blake. So if I ever use some terms that you're not familiar with, feel free to ask. Don't worry if you think you might look like a newbie or whatever, but it doesn't matter. I would much rather you ask right off the bat than have to go through the whole stream not understanding what I'm saying. And if you don't know what the term is, I bet you there's other people watching that also don't know what the term is, and there'll be people watching later on the recordings that don't know. So please ask. Let's see. Okay, cool. Harshit, I got the link here that you put in here, which is to your blog. So I'm going to check that out. I'm put that in my browser right now. I'll check that out when I can later on. Nice. Very nice. I just glanced at what popped up immediately, and that's looking really good, Harshit. Okay. Okay, Harshit was mentioning using Ghost for his blog, and says Ghost uses Markdown in the editor. That's actually really cool. If you're familiar with Markdown, that would be really cool. If you're not familiar with Markdown, it might be a little bit difficult, but I found it pretty easy to pick up on. I'm no expert at Markdown, but it's kind of nice. All right, Steven says, Jesse, just a shout out to you running these streams. Great job. Really shows how a programmer works. Makes me feel better about looking stuff up online all of the time. Awesome. That's what I wanted from these streams, right? I want everybody to see how much I mess up on the job and how much I have to learn and work through things. So I'm glad that that's helping you feel better about that. But that's what we do, right? We always are constantly learning as we go. Okay, and Stefan asked the same question about the headless CMS. So great. See, I knew there was more than one person that would ask that. Let's see. Backend looks like Bootstrap. Cool. Rook says that backend looks like Bootstrap. Yeah, Bootstrap was used for this, for Keystone. Okay. Manu says, my first OSS suggestion ever being used by Jesse, KeystoneJS suggestion. Yes, thank you, Manu. Like I said, there are definitely parts of Keystone that I'm really impressed with. Yeah, definitely. I'm just kind of hesitant about that, about it not being actively maintained now, or at least that's the appearance that I have. If anybody that works on Keystone is watching or ever watches this, please set me straight if I'm wrong about that. Or if anybody knows anyone or ever hears about a fork of Keystone that is being actively maintained, I'd love to see that as well. You know, unless I hear about it this week, it's probably not going to be what we use for this site, because we got to move on. But I'd still like to check it out and maybe even use it, you know, in one of our projects later on if I can. Let's see. Oh, Philip says, how about apostrophe CMS? I'll have to check that out. I've heard of that one as well. I'll have to check that out. I'm getting a lot of suggestions. I'll definitely have to do my research tomorrow morning, and then we'll try out one of these other JavaScript CMSs on the stream tomorrow. Okay, Philip says my friend is using Strappy. So Philip, yeah, I'd love to hear how Strappy's going. So if you happen to talk to your friend at some point soon, you know, ask about what they think about Strappy, because I'd love to hear from somebody who's actually using it. All right, Omroom says, I have a request. Will you take the chat screen to your screen when you answer questions in chat? I want to see the chat while I watch the video later. Thank you. Onroom, that's actually a good idea, and I did do that once. Unfortunately, when I did that, somebody typed in some things that weren't very nice, and kind of it ruined it. So I'm not going to do that. And I really wish I could do that, but especially since I'm streaming while I'm at work for the university, I just and it's on behalf of freeCodeCamp, I'd really rather not have something crazy come up in the chat. I mean, maybe I could go through later on and like blur it out, but anybody that watched it live and watches it, you know, until I get a chance to go blur it out would see those things. So I don't want to get the freeCodeCamp or my university in trouble with anything. So that's why I'm not going to do it. If I can think up, or if any of you can think up some way that we could, I don't know, protect against that, then I'm open to it. But until then, I'll just do my best to kind of read out what's in the chat. So anyway, that's a really good suggestion. As I said, unfortunately, somebody ruined that. So I just, you know, I don't want to expose you all and, you know, everybody else watching to any type of, you know, craziness, right? Hadimi says exactly what I was about to ask. What key features made you choose Keystone? Yeah, so basically, I think I'm not going to choose Keystone officially, but what led me to it, at least to want to try it, was I saw that there were other people that were using Keystone with GraphQL, and we definitely want to use GraphQL. I saw that it was completely JavaScript based, which I really liked, that it was all JavaScript. That way we can be full stack JavaScript and not have to worry about learning another language. Oh, sorry, yawning a lot. Yeah, so those were the main things that attracted me to Keystone. I mean, obviously open source, MIT license, right? I mean, it seemed like it was somewhat, easy to, mess around with and change. So that's what attracted me to it in the first place. And I kept seeing it when I would look up like JavaScript CMS, it would come up frequently. So I thought it was worth a try. Alright, Harshit says you can block offensive stuff in the settings. I think we're already blocking offensive things, but I mean, you can't block everything, right? There are a lot of things that won't get caught by those filters. So, I mean, I'm open to rethinking that if enough people think it would be of a benefit to the stream, to have the chat up on the screen like that. I'll reconsider it. Let me know, and let me know what you all think. I'm just gonna have to be like really vigilant about making sure that things don't get in, on the stream. I want to keep this stream like PG rated, because young people watch this too. We've had like young kids and things watch this show before. So anyway, I wouldn't want to expose them to anything that their parents wouldn't want them to see. Sending block stuff for you. Alright, cool. Manu says, you asked for suggestions in the first video for CMS. I remember it. I'm feeling good about this. One of the life's goals accomplished. Awesome. Well, I'm glad you're happy about it. I'm glad I could help you accomplish one of your life goals here. Alright, Blake has to go. See you, Blake. Yeah, hopefully you'll be back tomorrow. And, alright, let's see. Harshit, I see the IP address you just posted, so I will check that out. Okay. John B says, maybe ask freeCodeCamp to provide a moderator for the streams or to potentially promote someone who watches these a lot to do moderation. Yeah, okay. That's actually not a bad idea. I've thought about that before. I always just thought if we end up getting a lot of people in the live chat, that would be useful. So far, it's always been enough for me to handle, but I'll think about that. Alright, well, I have to go now and go over to my meeting. So, anyway, thank you so much. Harshit, I see your project, your freelance project right now. So, I'm going to take a look at that. But I just want to let you know I saw it. Okay, I have to go now. Thank you so much for watching. I will most likely be back tomorrow around 2 p.m. Eastern Time. And we'll try out another JavaScript content management system. I will not be testing content management systems later than this week because we need to get moving. So we're going to make a decision this week. The sooner the better. And then we'll move on to some other stuff. But until then, it's fun to test some things out. So, again, thank you all for watching. So glad for all the help and all the suggestions that you all have given. And until tomorrow, have a great day.